the United Nations came for peace purposes.
Okay.
And remember, at that time, Rwanda is still under the French sphere of influence.
Okay.
Felix tried to bring him closer so that instead
They
of
can
coming
map out the way forward.
instead of coming through the window, come through the door, we are going to work together.
Yeah.
No, they were mining contracts that were given to Rwanda for gold. And the equipment that the M23 has are far better than what the Congolese government has.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Teboho. We are here now at All African Matters. So this is the M podcast. I'm chilling with Silas from Mbuji Maji in the DRC. So I think now, because we're discussing African matters, I should refrain from using the colonial names. So
exactly.
This is Kazadi.
Yes, Kazadi Ngoya from...
Welcome, my brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So we today are going to talk about your country, Congo.
Mm-hmm.
So from onset, ever since I was born, Congo was on fire. You probably had that difficulty growing up. But can you tell us a bit about Congo? How does it start? How did it become Congo? Tell us about its formation, maybe.
Yeah, when it comes to African matters, we need to always remember there was a pre-colonial time.
Yeah.
Because nowadays the history of African countries and African societies, we know them from the colonial time, but we tend to forget that there was a pre-colonial time where we had kingdoms and empires.
Yeah.
So in that part that is known today as the Democratic Republic of Congo, we had kingdoms like arguably the biggest kingdom was the Congo Kingdom. Congo with a K. Kongo.
I see that.
Yes. The Congo people, you find them in what is called today the province of Congo Central and a part of Angola.
Okay.
Yes. They speak Congo. In the central part there was the Luba Kingdom.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a Luba. You will find there was a Luba Kingdom. You had the Kuba Kingdom, you had the Lunda Kingdom that used to take it was situated in the part of Katanga, the big Katanga.
Yeah.
And a part of
where Moise Katumbi was from.
Yes.
Part of
Zambia.
Yeah.
So remember this, what is called the Berlin Conference.
Yeah.
Where the then European superpowers came together to scramble Africa like a cake.
Yeah.
And that's the central part was colonized by Belgium during the time of King Leopold II. And it was called the Congo Free State. It became the official colonization of that part that is called DRC started on the 1st of August, 1885. It was called État indépendant du Congo. In English, it's the Congo Free State.
Okay.
Bear in mind that it was a private property of an individual. That I don't know if you have ever seen a human being in the history of this world who can own such a big piece of land. It was a private property of King Leopold II.
I don't know if I would say there was ever a man like that, but then I know that at some point there were two countries that were named after one man. Cecil John Rhodes, the Northern Rhodesia and Southern Rhodesia and all that. Mm-hmm. But in any case, we can continue from there.
Yes, it was a private property of King Leopold II. And he got that piece of land through trickery. He knew that the Belgian people wouldn't allow Belgium to have a colony because it was costly, because they looked at France, how much money France was losing because of the colonies. He borrowed 25 million Belgian francs at that time, 25 million.
Which can be the equivalent of?
If we
today?
go with the consumer price index, I don't know, unless we calculate.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
It's going to be Magumba.
It's probably billions
it's
today.
It's Magumba, my friend.
And he knew that he won't be able to repay that money.
Yeah.
So that's what he told to the Belgian government. If I cannot repay that money, you take that piece of land, it becomes your colony.
Okay.
That was his plan.
Yeah.
So he couldn't repay that 25 million franc. And in 1908, it became officially a Belgian colony. And we all know the story that happened there.
So for about 13 years, that was his property.
It's private property.
All right.
And from there, in 1908, it became a Belgian colony until 1960.
Okay.
When the DRC became an independent country on the 30th of June 1960. And we had the prime minister who was one of my heroes, Patrice Lumumba.
Okay.
We had the president, Joseph Kasavubu, was elected as president. And we know Patrice Lumumba died and was killed, assassinated in 1961 on the 17th January 1961.
Yeah.
And from there, that's when the trouble started on the 5th of September 1960, when Patrice Lumumba was removed as prime minister. Ever since then, the DRC has never known peace. Since the removal of Patrice Lumumba, Mobutu became president.
Yeah, I understand that, but something's a bit concerning. Lumumba you called him, he was a prime minister.
Yes, he was the prime
There was
minister.
a president.
There was a president, yes.
So, in terms of powers, how was that shared?
In terms of, remember, before it became an independent country, there was elections.
All right.
And the political party of Lumumba won the elections.
All right.
They won the elections. And Lumumba had to choose between becoming a prime minister or a president. But because he had the majority, the president was elected by the National Assembly.
Oh, I see.
By the parliament. And Lumumba, because he loved that country so much, he realized that the presidency will give it to the tribe that is in majority in Kinshasa, because at that time, the majority of people living in Kinshasa were the Congo people.
All right.
Kasavubu was a Congo. So Lumumba chose to become the prime minister. Remember, they used to share some power, executive powers.
All right.
So, but the prime minister had more executive powers than the president. So he chose to become the prime minister, and he was prime minister and the minister of defense. So he was in charge of the army.
Okay.
That's why he could name. When there was a mutiny within the army, he named Mobutu as the head of the army. That's when
Mobutu, who became the president later.
Yes, remember Mobutu was the secretary, the PA. He was the personal assistant of Lumumba. Yes.
Was he not a journalist at some point?
Yes, he was a journalist. They met with Lumumba when he was a journalist, because he was one of the most radical. Remember, Mobutu was not just that sellout that we saw. He was a radical journalist. He was radical.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when they met with Lumumba. I believe there was a round table conference in Belgium.
Yeah.
Mobutu was covering, as a journalist, he was covering
the news
there. And they met with Lumumba. Lumumba chose him. He became, when Lumumba formed the first government, he was the secretary. I think he was the secretary of the government, something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Yes, so Lumumba trusted him. Lumumba trusted him even when they...
So little did he know that one day this guy was planning to topple him, or maybe he didn't have those ideas at the time, but he probably could see that in future, this is where I'm going.
Yeah, probably. But we know that the CIA was working overtime. They recruited Mobutu, but the CIA actually recruited him.
All right.
Because he was more...
He had influence. People were following his stories. People were reading up on what he was writing.
Yes, remember,
believe that
he was the head of. He was a general. He was the head of the army. So he had powers.
He had powers.
He had powers. That's how, when Lumumba was removed as prime minister by the president, Lumumba also, because of certain powers that he believed that the prime minister had, decided to remove Kasavubu as a president. So in that turmoil, that political turmoil, that's when Mobutu decided to take over.
So Roughly, how long is it from when Kasavubu became a president? Mobutu was then now in charge of the army.
It wasn't even a year. Imagine Lumumba became prime minister he became prime minister before the independence.
Okay.
He assumed his power after the independence. A week or 2 weeks, there was a mutiny in the army.
Okay.
Because there was a general, what was his name? General Jansen, something like that.
All right.
During what do you call when the soldiers, they meet together and the head of the army speak to them.
Yeah, he addresses them.
He was addressing them and he wrote...
Assembly of some sort, eh?
Yeah, kind of an assembly.
Okay.
And there was a board. He wrote on the board, avant l'indépendance égale après l'indépendance. In English, before independence equal after independence. Just to tell them that things have not changed. Things are not changed. They're still the same.
Okay.
The soldiers didn't have...
This is the old general.
Yes.
Okay.
He was a white person.
Yeah.
The soldier didn't appreciate that. And there was a mutiny in the army asking that he must be removed. And Lumumba had to succumb to the demand of the soldiers.
Yeah.
That's when he named Mobutu because he trusted Mobutu. And Mobutu, sometime during his life, he had a training. He had the military training.
So he had a service for his country.
Yes.
He went into training as an army.
Yes. Mobutu was personally, he went through a military training. It wasn't too long, but at least he had a bit of experience. That's how he became he was a general. I think at that time he was a colonel. He was appointed as a colonel. And we know actually what happened after. And Lumumba was killed in 1965. Mobutu. 24.
So roughly, how long did what's his name? Patry stay as a prime minister?
2 months. July.
Only 2 months.
July and August.
So all these events happened in 2 months.
Yes,
at the time of his death, where's Kasavubu?
Kasavubu was still a president.
All right.
Remember, Mobutu became a president on the 24 November 1965.
Yeah.
That's when he became the president.
But earlier on, we mentioned, I think it was, I hinted the name of Moise Tombe. Around that time, where is Moise Tombe? Because there's a lot of literature that suggests that he ordered the killing of Patrice Lumumba.
Yes, remember there was a secession.
Okay.
The country there was a secession. The Katanga, that was the richest province, became a republic.
Okay.
And the central part also, there was a republic there.
Okay.
It was called État fédéral du Sud Kasai.
Yeah, I remember the one of
the federal state of South Kasai. Yes.
So it was the southern part the capital was then Lubumbashi.
Yes, it was called at that time Elizabethville.
Elizabethville.
Yes, Elizabethville. Yes, in French.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he became.
Yeah.
He was the president of that republic.
So if that is true, is there any information on how Moise Tombe was involved in the killing of the prime minister?
Remember, he was kind of the president.
In charge of
he was still in charge, yes. Remember when Lumumba was arrested in the Kasai?
Yeah.
Because he fled from Kinshasa by road, traveling by road, he was arrested in the Kasai province.
So the word was out that someone wanted him out already.
Oh, Lumumba?
Yeah.
Lumumba, he was under house arrest. Lumumba was placed under house arrest.
By
Mobutu.
The army general.
Yes.
The one that he put in charge. That was very quick. That's why I said earlier.
Yes.
It seemed like, because he was a journalist, so it seemed like he envied Lumumba at that time when he was...
Things happened so fast in Mobutu's life. Remember, he won the trust of Lumumba.
Yeah.
Lumumba trusted him.
Yeah.
To make him his PA, his personal assistant, and from there he became a colonel. And remember when there was a secession, Lumumba wanted to reunite the country.
Okay.
And Lumumba was the Minister of Defense.
Yeah.
He was accused of using excessive force against civilians.
All right.
That was the reason he was removed.
I see.
Yeah, he was removed because of that.
All right.
That's the cause why Lumumba was removed.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move to now. How does Lumumba then? Mobutu become a president then?
It was through a coup d'etat in 1965.
So he overthrew the sitting president.
Yes, Kasavubu.
All right.
That's when Mobutu became officially
the president,
the second president of DRC.
How long from what period to
1965 to 1997? 32 years in power. 32 years in power.
That's still long. It's a common thing in Africa. So
Yes.
there are still some who are serving a very long term.
Yes. We still have
Obiang
Nguema from Equatorial Guinea.
We've got some examples. Some people think that they will never leave the seat unless if they are dead. I won't talk about Uganda anyway. But during his period, what's his name? Mobutu. How was it like? You said earlier that there was DRC never knew peace from the time when Lumumba was killed.
Mobutu managed to unite the country. Remember, there was the Simba rebellion.
Yeah.
There was the Simba rebellion.
Yeah.
They were even controlling 75%. Was it 75%, if I'm not mistaken? But they were controlling
a large portion
of the country.
Yeah.
Mobutu had to seek help from mercenaries and Belgium.
Yeah.
And some Afrikaner.
Okay. From South Africa.
Yes, from South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we will go into detail the detail some other time because they were on the eve of the independence.
Yeah.
There was at that time the apartheid government sent weapons to Moise Chombe. In the Katanga, they sent mercenaries and soldiers there.
Yeah.
So it's a complex story.
But they were looking at something later on.
Yes,
maybe
remember the Katanga was
something.
the richest province.
Yeah.
Up until today, it's
still the richest province.
Because of the mines and the cobalt, the copper.
A lot of cobalt, copper, now lithium today.
Yes.
But in any case, so Mobutu, you said earlier that he actually was recruited by CIA.
Yes, Mobutu was
during his tenure. Where is CIA around the time?
Mobutu was supported he had the support of all these Western powers.
Okay.
He had the support of Belgium, the support of France, the support of... Remember, at that time is the Cold War.
Yeah.
They did not want the DRC to be under the communist sphere of influence because of the strategic position.
And many people saw Lumumba as a communist.
Yes, they saw Lumumba as a communist. Lumumba was just radical and a Pan-Africanist.
Yeah.
And Mobutu managed to unite the country. We need to be honest on that.
Yeah.
Mobutu controlled the entire country from north to south, east to west.
Yeah.
Mobutu managed to control that country.
Yeah.
There was no war when he became president. He overcame the Simba rebellion. Those were the supporters of Lumumba, though he sought help from Belgium. And from that time until, I believe, 1977, there was kind of a rebellion. That's when Kabila came into play. Laurent Kabila.
The father. Kabila, the father, yeah.
Yes. It was still, even during the time of Mobutu, when they were defeated, it was amongst the Simba rebels.
Okay.
Let me not call them rebels.
Yeah.
Because those were just freedom fighters.
Yeah.
Between those freedom fighters, they ran to Tanzania.
Okay.
They were staying in Tanzania. He tried again around 1977 to attack Zaire.
Okay. So wait, we were at Congo Free State. Then Mobutu became the president. Did he also change the country's name to now Zaire?
Yes, it was Congo Free State.
Yeah.
Congo Belgium Congo, when it became officially a Belgium colony.
Okay.
And then it's become the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
and it became Zaire. Mobutu renamed it to Zaire.
So when Mobutu, before coup d'etat, it's known as DRC,
Yes,
what we know today.
Yes, Republic Democratic of Congo.
So Mobutu comes in, then scrap that, and then he put Zaire there.
Becomes Zaire.
Yes. Was it now Congo as it is today, DRC as it is today, or did he include the Republic of Congo as well?
No. Republic of Congo
has always been.
That was a French colony.
French colony.
Yeah.
Nah, I understand. I understand that. All right. So now Mobutu is in power for that long. He managed to unite the country, as you speak. Same way, is it can we compare him to same way as what Kenneth Kaunda did, what Julius Nyerere did, Zambia and Tanzania, respectively?
Remember, Mobutu was I will say he was not genuine.
Okay.
Mobutu.
But in this point, I'm talking to peace and freedom around the country.
In terms of peace, yes, because Mobutu united the country.
So it was a country that people would want to live in.
Yes, there was no war. I have that experience of when I was because remember at that time I was still a child toward the 90s, the late 90s. So I only experienced the last decade of Mobutu's
very
reign.
early.
Yes, and at that time it was already weak.
Yeah.
Remember but when you read history or you watch documentaries, I'm telling you, there was peace. You could move from north to south and Mobutu.
So they could also have South Africa around that time, the South African freedom fighters.
They were, but they were outside of the country, remember?
Not in, I mean DRC.
No.
During Mobutu's time, he couldn't.
No, there was peace.
So there were no South Africans who fled South Africa for the refuge there or maybe for military purposes.
No, at that time, and remember, as I said, Mobutu was kind of a complex individual because Mobutu was under the Western sphere of influence. But Mobutu will go to the United Nations in 1974, 1975 and speak of apartheid and South Africa must be free. He speaks of Rhodesia. He speaks of Palestine.
The same South Africa that helped him to come into power.
Yeah, he was speaking against apartheid. It's one of the most powerful speech of an African president.
Okay.
Yes, and that was Mobutu, but toward the end of his reign, that's when he started promoting tribalism. And
so
what you see today.
What tribe was he? Was he belonged to the Congo?
The Luba and people from Kasai and Katanga.
Okay.
Because those were the two provinces that were opposing him.
Okay.
Turn people from Katanga against people from Kasai. And people from Kasai were chased from the Katanga. And even some Mobutu, the conflict that we have today. Yeah. Sometimes Mobutu will use the Tutsis and
it will be interesting when we get there because
that's what he was very good.
Along the whole conversation, we haven't mentioned the east of Congo. We spoke about the basin of Congo, it's the central, the west, a little bit of the west as well. Yeah, but then peaceful, as it were. Administration-wise, people were happy. Yes. He was a good guy.
He wasn't a good guy. He was a dictator. There was no freedom.
So
there was no freedom, but at least basic services. Remember, he inherited the country that was still a colony.
Yeah.
Some of the companies were still well functioning.
Okay.
But they started declining. The decline takes time.
Yeah.
They were declining slowly,
bit by
bit, because of the corruption within his government.
Yeah.
That's when even the infrastructures started deteriorating, and until the end of his power.
His tenure,
Yes.
Okay. And now he's out of power. Is it Kabila who comes after him?
Yes.
Kabila the father.
Kabila the father.
Is it Laurent?
Yeah, Laurent.
Okay. So Laurent takes over. how is the relation with the neighboring countries when he becomes a president?
Remember, Mobutu was the undisputed leader
Yeah.
in Central Africa.
Yes.
Nothing will happen in Central Africa without his approval.
Yeah.
You had Rwanda. At that time, Rwanda, they used to speak French. It was under the French sphere of influence.
Okay.
Burundi, they used to speak French. Yeah, even today they speak.
I think they still speak French today.
Speak French. And yes, in Uganda also you have the Tutsis, and at that time it was Obote who was in power until Museveni came. It's Mobutu who even gave the go-ahead that Museveni can become a president. And
publicly?
No, those are done. Those are consultations that are done behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at that time, remember, there was the genocide in Rwanda between the Hutu and the Tutsis. The Rwandan genocide. I don't want to say it. To call it.
But let's take it from when does Mobutu become a president?
In 1965.
No, wait, rather Laurent Kabila. When does he become?
In
1997. 1997.
1997.
So 1994, Mobutu was still very much in charge.
No, at that time he was already sick. I think that was already the decline of his power. He was rejected. He was rejected by his former allies.
Yeah.
Yes, he was pretty much isolated.
Okay. And it makes sense. So around that time, there's a security problem in the east of the country. So could he influence anything to avoid the turmoil that we know or we read about today?
Remember, at that time, there was a change of power in Uganda.
Yeah.
We had Museveni. And some of the people who assisted Museveni to become president were Tutsi refugees who fled Rwanda in 1959 during the Hutu revolution. They fled to Rwanda. One of them was Kagame. Kagame was still a child.
Okay.
They helped Museveni to become president in Uganda.
Was Museveni born in Uganda?
Oh, I don't have much information about Museveni. But remember, there was a promise. He told them that once we liberate Uganda, I will help you. Not liberation once you help me take power
in Uganda. Yeah.
I'm going to help you to go and take over.
In Rwanda. Yeah.
That was
This is a conversation between the current sitting presidents of the two countries.
Yes, and the Tutsis refugees who assisted him.
Okay.
Now, in 1994, there's a genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Rwanda, the refugees led by Kagame, not even by Kagame. Kagame was not the leader. It was Fred Rwigema.
Okay.
He serves as Deputy Minister of Defense in Uganda. Now, even in Uganda, the Tutsis, the prisons, they were influential, the refugees, and the Baganda started realizing that no, these people are becoming
a problem.
Are becoming a problem. They are having too much influence.
Yeah.
It's time for them to go back to their country. That's when they decided to form a group of soldiers to go and take over in Rwanda. They tried, but remember, at that time, the president is Habyarimana. Habyarimana studied in Zaire.
Okay.
I think at University of Kinshasa, if I'm not mistaken. And
which year is this now?
We are still in 1993, somewhere there.
Somewhere around.
1991, early 1991, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Early 90s.
Yeah,
safe to say.
in the early 90s.
Yeah.
They tried. But remember at that time, Mobutu still had a strong army. He sent soldiers
to
go and fight the rebels, the Tutsi rebel who wanted to take over in Kigali.
Okay.
Mobutu sent soldiers, and they managed to
repel
them to the border with Uganda.
Okay.
That's when Kagame has a grudge against the Congolese people because of that. Until today, he has never forgiven the Congolese people because of that. They tried again. become. They tried again. But remember, at that time, Mobutu was
So
weak.
Kagame was trying to take power, or him and his allies
Yes.
were trying to take power from Uganda by force.
No, from Abiyarimana.
Okay.
It was a Hutu.
Okay.
Abiyarimana was a Hutu.
Yeah.
The majority.
But then he's in Rwanda.
That's in Rwanda.
Yeah.
That's in Rwanda.
Yeah.
So when they were repelled to the border, and Kagame has never forgiven the Congolese people until today because of that.
Yeah.
And in 1993, there is a Melchior Dandai and Abiyarimana were killed. They were coming from Arusha,
Okay, in Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Okay.
They went to sign the peace accord, the peace agreement.
Who was present there? Who are they signing peace agreement with at the time?
With the Rwandan Patriotic Front.
Okay.
Of
the RPF.
Of
Yeah.
Kagame.
Yeah.
On their way back, to Kigali, when they were about to land, there was a rocket
sent to the plane.
Sent to the plane, and they died.
It's like a movie style, man.
That's what triggered the genocide. When the Hutu realized that you killed our president, they started killing the Tutsis.
So that probably what stirred the country beside what happens when Mobutu sent the soldiers to repel Kagame and the allies.
Yes, that's what there was now. That triggered the genocide, the Rwandan genocide.
Yeah.
It triggered the Rwandan genocide.
Was it not retaliating to the... I mean, they were sent away by the DRC army.
Remember at that time, the United Nations, they were protecting the airport in Kigali.
Okay.
The United Nations came for peace purposes.
Okay.
And remember at that time, Rwanda is still under the French sphere of influence.
Okay.
Abiyarimana was still protected by the French.
So it was more like a French protectorate.
No, they were still in the sphere of influence. Remember at that time, France was still very much involved in Rwanda, in Rwandan politics.
But it was independent, was it?
Yeah, it was we can say they were an independent country. We can say that.
Yeah,
but
you'll never know.
But we know they are not. We know
you'll never know.
It's not that they are not independent.
Yeah.
Yes, that the Rwandan genocide was a trigger.
Okay.
No, actually, when the death of Abiyarimana was a trigger. Rwandan genocide lasted for 100 days. Yeah, 100 days. And when the RPF reached Kigali, some soldiers in the Rwandan army at that time of Abiyarimana, the soldiers and the Hutus,
I can say that name,
the Interamwe, and the Interamwes, they fled to Zaire.
Okay.
But they were stopped at the border. Mobutu didn't want them.
Yeah.
Mobutu didn't want them.
You could control that influx.
Yes. Mobutu didn't
potential
want them.
influx.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there were pressure coming from France and some of his former allies who rejected him. But because Mobutu was isolated, he thought that by doing that, he will go back in the good books of those people. He allowed them to come to Zaire. And when they came to Zaire, they made a serious mistake. They were supposed to disarm the Interamwes and some former Hutu generals and soldiers.
Yeah.
They didn't do that.
So they finally he repelled them first time. They couldn't come in, right?
Yeah, he stopped. Closed the border.
Closed it.
He closed the border.
How did they come in? Did he open the border for them?
Yes, he had to
under pressure.
Because of the pressure from Western powers. Because I remember at that time Mobutu is isolated.
Yeah.
And
so he takes anything that they tell him, thinking that no, we're building.
He wanted to, he thought that he will go back in the good books of those people who rejected him already. So when they were allowed in the eastern part of DRC, and with the corruption also in the army, they managed to disarm some of them. But because of the corruption in the army, they sold those weapons back to the Hutus and to the Interamwes and former soldiers.
Yeah.
And they started using DRC as a base to attack Rwanda.
How far from the border?
It's not far from, I believe maybe you have been Eastern DRC. It's not far.
Yeah.
It's not far from, it was less than 100 kilometers.
Surprisingly, I've never been to DRC.
No, you have been there, but you have not been to Goma.
Nah. Yeah.
See, it wasn't, they were using DRC as the base
Yeah.
to attack Rwanda.
Yeah.
And Kagame kept on complaining. Kagame always wanted to invade DRC.
For what purpose?
Oh, that's why we'll get there. So when they were using DRC as the
he's
base,
an interesting figure. I mean, he's an interesting figure because just close to his border, or some people believe that he's causing that disharmony in that region. So whenever his name is mentioned, I get interested. I want to know, man.
Yeah, but remember when they were using the Eastern DRC as a rear base to attack Rwanda, on the 6th of October 1996, Kagame retaliated.
Okay.
He retaliated with the Lemera massacre.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's an hospital, the Lemera Hospital.
Yeah, but the Lemera massacre, we've passed an event that led to him becoming the president today, most probably. Let's now talk about the genocide there. Yeah, right. So when does he take over? When does he become the president? How did it become and all that?
When the RPF took over Kigali, remember Kagame was not the president, but he was a vice president.
But a de facto president. He
Remember,
had a lot of influence.
He was the president because the pastor was Pastor Bizimungu.
Okay.
Bizimungu was not a Tutsi.
Okay.
He was a Hutu, just a...
So he would have to take everything that he says because he's got backing of his people.
Yes, because 85% of the population are Hutus. Remember, Kagame, just to give an impression that, no, this is not a Tutsi-led thing.
And this issue of tribalism comes a long way, my friend. We're not going to win it today.
Yes.
We're not going to win it today, yeah?
If we have the right leaders, just like Nyerere did with Tanzania.
Yeah, no,
he built a nation.
That's a big guy.
He built a nation.
It's Nyerere and Kenneth Kaunda.
Yes, they built
lots of tribes in those countries. South Africa is nothing compared to those countries.
But Nyerere said we are one nation, we are Tanzanians.
Yeah.
And he promoted Swahili over English or Arabics.
Yeah, which was good, man.
That was
some good. Identity of some sort, people can now identify, they can communicate, they can learn and be taught in a language that belongs to them. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of leaders failed.
Yeah. So now, I mean, Kagame is now what? Deputy president. And then which year does he become deputy president?
In 1994, after the genocide.
Okay.
He becomes the...
Maybe tell us about around the genocide time, around about that time. What's happening? People, you said earlier that people would go from Rwanda into DRC.
Yes, the Interamwe.
And then they kill, go back, and then all those things.
They would go to Rwanda and kill and come back because they were planning to go back and attack Rwanda and take over power.
Yeah.
And Kagame, remember at that time he wanted to protect his power.
Yeah.
He wanted to protect his power. He had to attack.
So he retaliated.
He retaliated by attacking the Lemera Hospital. The majority of those who were
Lemera Hospital, that's what, 96?
That in 96.
October, somewhere there?
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
The 6th of October.
Okay.
Then there was a massacre. That's what triggered the Second War. What is called the Congo, the First War. The Congo. Is it the First War? Yes, 1996.
Okay.
Remember, it was an invasion.
So Lemera Hospital is in Congo.
Yes, it's in Congo.
So, few years down the line after the massacre in Rwanda, Rwanda attacked Congo.
Rwanda, Uganda, and Burundi.
All in collaboration.
Yes, because Rwanda,
Why?
you have a Tutsi. In Uganda, it was a Tutsi. In Burundi, it was also a Tutsi. The very
So
same
it
problem
does the defense of a tribe.
yeah, the very same problem that you see in DRC between the Tutsis and in Burundi, they have also the same issue. They have the same issue. Bear in mind that
So
Rwanda,
these two tribes can live together.
Rwanda, Burundi, and DRC used to be Belgian colonies. It used to be administered as one country.
As one
Country.
kind of like federation.
Yes. So the eastern part of DRC was less populated.
Okay.
And because it was administered as one country, people from some Tutsis from Rwanda were taken to the eastern part of DRC to stay there.
Why?
To stay there. Because that part was less populated.
But then now, the former president of Tanzania says that he compares the problem of Tutsis with the problem of the Maasais in Kenya and Tanzania. He says now when the Congolese people want to send those people, say they must go home, send them away, say must go home. He says go home where? Because he believes that was a kingdom, that was their land all along. Could that be true?
That's something called there's a story, they call it what, the Greater Rwandan Kingdom.
Yeah.
The Greater Rwandan Kingdom.
So
which is a lie. Let me explain to you why I'm saying it's a lie. Remember, it was administered as one country. Remember, Rwanda used to be a German colony.
Yes.
But when Germany was defeated in the First World War, that was controlled by the UN.
Okay.
And it was given to Belgium to administer.
Okay.
Because Belgium was also in charge of the Congo. So they administer it as one country. As
one country.
Remember, as one country.
So people could move between two countries.
Move between the two countries. And because the eastern part of DRC was less populated, they took some Tutsis to go and settle in the eastern part of DRC because of for agriculture purposes, and they used to work, they need to work in agriculture. They went to stay there. Now, before independence, Belgium asked to people who were relocated, that it used to be called the Mission des Immigrés, I think, Banyamulenge. No, Mission des Immigrés Banyarwanda.
Maybe later on you should explain to us what Banyamulenge is, because every time we talk about that area, there's mention of Banyamulenge.
Yes, we'll explain that some other time. They were, in French, we used to call it the transplantés.
Okay.
They were taken
Transplant.
Yes, they were taken from what is called Rwanda to the eastern part. And they asked them, you have to choose, because this country will be independent. Now you have to choose if you will remain Congolese or you go back, you are still Rwandan citizens.
Okay.
Some agreed to remain there.
Yeah, obviously people will make their decisions.
You see, they made the decision because their livelihood was based in that area. That's how the Tutsis came there.
Okay. They were never part of that area.
Yes, they became Congolese. Remember, they became Congolese, because in that the constitution that was drafted said it was in French, it says est Congolais tout celui qui se retrouve sur le territoire national avant l'indépendance.
Hey, that's very complex.
You know, it says you are a Congolese, you will be considered a Congolese if you have been in the national territory before 1960.
Okay. If you came after?
All the population that way. If you came after, then you'll have to probably go naturalization or that's how they became Congolese. We have to be honest, they were Congolese because of the constitution.
Does Congo accept them as Congolese?
Yes, they are. I can say in the constitution, the constitution of February 2006, the one that was adopted after during the transitional government.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Besides
they are Congolese.
Besides Kagame calling the current president of Congo the failed pizza delivery boy. He says, he says that he sometimes admits that they are. Sometimes he says, no, they are not the citizens of Congo.
No. Those are lies. I don't remember Felix saying that they are not Congolese.
Yeah.
Felix has always said that they are Congolese because even some they are.
But that man has no respect for your president, eh?
Oh yeah, the honeymoon is over. We must just be honest. If we've had the Congo,
Yeah.
Rwanda is nothing. Rwanda is. I'm sorry, but I have to say it's kind of a parasite that survived because of
sucking the.
Yes, exactly. That's
Congo
how
dry.
That's how he is. Let me not say Rwanda, but Kagame. Is entire because of that.
Where does he get this entitlement? Is it some form of reparation for him to say that you attacked us? At least you need to compensate us somehow.
I told you still he has a grudge.
Yeah.
Because of what Mobutu did.
He hasn't forgiven.
Remember, it's also based on what is called, they call it the Tutsi power.
Yeah.
The Tutsi power.
Yeah, it seems to be powerful.
The Tutsi power
seems to be a real power because it's an ideology. Kept him there.
It's an ideology where they believe that the Tutsis must dominate the Bantu people. Because the Tutsis are not Bantu.
Okay.
They are, is it Nilotic or Nilotic?
Okay.
Yes, the Amitic.
All right.
Yes, they always believe that
they don't have same genealogy as the Bantu.
Yes,
that's interesting.
They always believe that they were made to dominate.
Yeah,
that's their ideology.
Yeah, but then now I think let's fast forward it, man. Then now. Everyone is there in the East Congo later on. Some say for business interests, some say for the sake of peace. We see South African soldiers dying there. We see all these things happening, and they are blamed on Rwanda.
Yes, remember that the problem in Eastern DRC is not what we see. It's a complex issue.
Yeah,
it's a complex issue for you to
maybe let's name out few things that causes the problem or few things that contribute to, there's no solution. It seems like it's quiet now, but as I talk to people down that side,
it's now it's business.
Yeah,
it's business now. War is business.
What did South African soldiers die for? What were they doing?
War is business. Remember the involvement of South Africa. It started from the apartheid government, when they had to send some soldiers in the Katanga.
Is there a big South African, business interest
of
there?
Of course, you have a lot of. Remember South African.
Yeah, we hear that there's a company that owns an airport there or a strip.
I'll mention one South African businesses.
Yeah.
It's Carlos Teixeira is a Portuguese, but is South African.
Okay.
He was a close friend of President Thabo Mbeki.
Okay.
And the daughter of Carlos is married to Jean-Pierre Bemba.
Okay.
Is married, yeah. She's married to Liliane Bemba.
Okay.
Liliane Teixeira or Teixeira, I don't know how they pronounce it. She's married to Jean-Pierre Bemba.
Yeah.
And Jean-Pierre Bemba was one of the warlords that were funded by Uganda. You see. And
it's very complex then.
It's very complex. South Africa, remember when Mbeki became president with this idea of the African Renaissance?
Yeah.
And one of the major projects was to bring peace
in that region.
In the DRC. And he tried. He tried his best. But remember,
what solutions did he offer you?
We had the Sun City Agreement.
The
Sun City Agreement where all the rebel groups came together in Sun City.
Okay. Sun City.
In Sun City, yeah. Sun City, the resort, yes.
Yeah.
And after that, we also had the Pretoria.
Yeah.
The Pretoria Agreement. After the Sun City Agreement, we had the Pretoria Agreement.
What can we deduce from that, the Sun City Agreement?
From the Sun City Agreement, remember, the problem with Congolese leaders is that they cannot find solution to their own problems.
But what solution were they offered?
The solution
if any?
they were offered by Thabo Mbeki
Yeah.
was 1 president and 4 vice president.
Jeez.
That's Thabo Mbeki brainchild. They say if you cannot, because he gave them 3 days. If you cannot find the solution,
3 days is way too quick, man.
you go home because you have been here for so long.
Yeah.
It was at the taxpayers' money.
Oh yeah.
South African
No, I
taxpayers'
get the
money.
3 days.
And
Yeah.
I will give you 3 days if you cannot find the solution.
Yeah.
Pack your stuff and go home. They couldn't find it, and Mbeki and his
It's not that easy.
and
to
his
find.
advisors
Yeah.
came up with a solution and presented to them. Yes, they agreed, and that's
So
how Mbeki became.
These deputies, was that going to be a solution in your view, or
No, remember, Congolese love the cake. To them, politics is kind
So
of a
they were-
cake. It's kind of a cake that they need to share with each other. And one was in charge of finance, one was in charge of security, one was in charge of, I don't know if it was culture.
Well, they probably couldn't agree who was going to be in charge of security.
It was given to Azaya Subewa. Azaya Subewa was backed by Rwanda.
Oh, then that can't be accepted.
No, there too. Finance was given to the one who was in charge of economy of finance was given to Jean-Pierre Bemba, who was backed by Uganda. You have the civil society represented. Also, you have the government of Kabila. They also had someone who was, it was just they had to implement
It sounds
the
like some
agreement.
scribbling of some sort. Take this, I'll take this, take this, I'll take that.
Exactly.
That's not how you run a country. I don't know how to, but I don't think that's how you run a country.
Exactly, it was a mess. Honestly, Thabo Mbeki came probably 2 or 3 times to when they could not agree with each other. This one decided, no, today I'm leaving the government. I'm going back to become a rebel. Mbeki will come and put them together. They were like kids because Congolese politicians behave like kids. Because Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma once said that Congolese politicians are like kids
Yes,
who
he
wants
was
to be babied all the time.
Yeah, she had her own point. I don't want to say that she was right, but
Oh, she was right. Well, she was right. Congolese politicians are still babies. They cannot find a solution to their problem because even today,
because he's sitting with one problem like year in, year out. It takes decades, it's taking forever. Some people are deprived of simple life that they desire to live there, It's bad. It's bad. But as we conclude, maybe besides politics, okay, does Paul Kagame have beef with your president besides politics?
Remember those two remember?
Because in some instances, he calls him a fool.
Yes, and
How do you call a sitting president a fool, man?
I remember there was when Felix became president, he tried to get closer to Kagame.
Okay.
Calling him my friend, mon
Yeah.
ami, mon ami,
Mon ami, mon frère.
Mon frère,
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was mon frère.
Mon frère, my brother.
They used to call each other brothers.
Yeah.
That's when Kagame even attended the funeral of Felix's father.
Oh.
Tshisekedi, the father, yeah.
Yeah.
Kagame even attended the funeral, and Felix tried. It was kind of a honeymoon.
Yeah, it
Felix
was a honeymoon
trying-
phase, my friend.
Yes, he tried to.
But it didn't last, eh?
Yeah, it didn't last. Felix tried to bring him closer so that instead
They
of
can
coming
map out a way forward, eh?
instead of coming through the window, come through the door. We are going to work together.
Yeah.
No, they were mining contract that were given to Rwanda for gold.
Okay.
For yes,
Rwanda is a country or something.
yes, with the Rwandan government.
They've got gold smelters, like we hear.
Yes, and
Do
the
they
gold.
have gold?
No, they don't have gold, but
But
the
they've
gold.
got gold smelters.
Yes, the gold that was mined in DRC will go and they will refine it in Rwanda. Remember, it was purely business.
Yeah.
But because Kagame is always steps ahead, he's always steps ahead. He
Yeah.
wanted to outsmart Felix.
Felix.
And that's when the M23 came back. That's when, because the M23 were defeated.
Brought by.
That's where Felix also made a mistake. When he became president, he invited the M23 in
Into the army.
Kinshasa and made them promises.
Did he incorporate them into the army, or was that a promise?
We hear that it was a promise that they were supposed to work in his security, and that was a mistake to bring back the M23 in Kinshasa. And they stayed there, I don't know for how many months or a year. And then when they realized that they were abandoned, they decided to go back. That's when the M23 started again.
Destabilizing.
Yes, they came back.
Currently, would it be safe to say that the region is in tatters now because of
It is.
the M23 is unhappy?
Who's not unhappy in the Congo? I'm also unhappy.
I understand that, but I mean the M23 have military capacity.
They don't have the military. They have
you
the
and I
backing.
can be unhappy or
They
happy.
have the backing of. Remember, they have the
As
backing.
far as that region is concerned, doesn't matter.
They have the backing of Rwanda, and the equipment that the M23 has are far better than what the Congolese government has.
So I don't want to call it paramilitary, but they've got more power than the sovereign country, a grouping of people.
Yes, they are controlling. They are controlling Goma now. They control Goma in some areas. Probably now they control.
Was there hope when South African soldiers were sent there? Did you think that maybe they'll be able to squash them out?
They were not going to win.
What was the plan? Was the plan to clear the road for minerals to move out of Congo to Rwanda without interference of M23? Or
remember when Felix became president?
Yeah.
When before he became president, it was an agreement.
Yeah.
Between him and Kabila.
Yeah.
He never won the elections. Felix never won the elections. Never won the elections. That's public knowledge.
Okay.
And he knows that himself.
Yeah.
Even his supporters know that.
So,
but it was an agreement between Kabila and him.
That Kabila,
Yes, Kabila
spent enough time here. I'm getting tired of waiting.
His candidate lost, but the winner at that time was not in favor of working with Kabila. That's how Tshisekedi became president.
So Tshisekedi was favored by his predecessor.
Yeah, that's why Kagame always tells him that he has not won the election, because Kagame was there when that agreement was signed. It was in front of 4 African presidents. Okay. Cyril Ramaphosa was there, Kenyatta of Uganda was there, Kagame was there, and Joseph Kabila.
We'll talk about Kenyatta one day, the father, not
the Uhuru.
We'll talk about Jomo, and some people believe that he sold out on the Pan-Africanism. But in any case, that's the issue for another day. But I must say, failure of African countries to help Congo and Rwanda to find a lasting solution there, it's embarrassing on an international stage, because it's going on and on and on and on. We don't know who's benefiting from there. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't want to talk. Maybe some say nobody's listening. But I mean, well, it's African matters. They never end, do they?
Yeah, I will say that African leaders, I failed the Congo. Remember, when you speak of African leaders, we must also remember that they are not independent. They work according to the masters.
Yeah.
So that's exactly
true. That even
and the Congo is controlled by their masters. There's nothing that they can do.
Yeah, I think most of them prefer to get their. You may know Prof. Arikana.
Yes.
He always blames them to say that they every time they go out, maybe to investment conference and all that, they go out, with empty hands. They're begging. They're controlling large portion of the world minerals, all that, but they go out begging every time. That is the African problem. We're not cutting deals that are beneficial. Balance of trade always falls in favor of those who come with the promise of helping us. In any case, this was the African Matters for today. See you next time.